Okay, let's talk about sweep. The idea of sweep is that you can take a two-dimensional shape and then extrude it along a line that isn't just a straight line. So here we have a circle that I can extrude along this line, and it's going to turn that corner, and then this shape also goes into the third dimension here. So it's going to turn this corner here and then turn this corner here to go up. So you would use this anytime you need to create a shape that's a little bit irregular. Maybe you're drawing pipe in something, or maybe you just want something to follow a curve or something like that. You know, there's a lot of applications for this. Most of them they tend to be cosmetic applications. Like I don't necessarily think that sweeping, framing, for example, is all that useful. But to each their own. Okay, so let's go ahead and show this example. So I'm going to select the part that I want to sweep, and I'm going to type sweep, and then it's going to ask me to sweep which path I want to sweep, and I click on the line, and boom, there we have it. It is swept. Very nice. So let's look at a few different options here though. So here we have yet another circle that's going to be swept along another line that is identical to the previous. And this time, instead of selecting the circle first, I'm just going to type sweep, and then it's going to prompt me to select the object that I want to sweep. I'm going to say this one, and then I'm going to hit spacebar to accept that. And then this time I'm going to move my base point by typing B, spacebar to accept, and I'm going to move it to this side right here. And you'll notice that it's already prompting me to select my sweep path, and now I'm going to click, and it should sweep that. You'll notice that if we look at this squarely from above, the inside angle here, this, is different than this. That means that we've swept around the outside edge of that angle, which is interesting, or the outside edge of that curve. If I try that again with this circle, and I put my base point here, and I try to sweep it, it's going to throw an error message. See that right there? That's because it can't sweep around this corner and maintain a curve. Like, see how tight that curve is? It won't be able to do it without having the inside corner be a line and the outside corner be an arc, and it just doesn't like to do it because it's not physically what would happen, if that makes any sense. So we've asked it to do a physical impossibility, so let's show you something else with this. And that is that there's a couple of other things here, like alignment. If I change alignment to say, don't orient it perpendicular to the path before I sweep it, it's going to throw another error message. So I'm going to select the path, and it's going to say, I can't do that because they're on the same plane. I'm basically sweeping a straight line, and it doesn't want to do that. Something else to notice is that if I move my base point to the top here and then sweep the path, the thing that changes is this corner. So you'll see here, those were swept along the same axis, and here we're moving it in a different axis, therefore the shape of my corner has changed a little bit. But this corner here has not. So you're probably asking, well, how do I know which one is which, and how do I make sure that it's doing the thing that I want it to? If I can be completely honest with you, we don't do this enough to get really, really good at it and be able to do it the first time that we ever do it. So my advice would be, when you do this, set up several lines and see which one extrudes the way that you want it to, and make sure it is in fact what you want. But that might just be me. The other thing to pay attention to is that the orientation of the object being swept relative to the line does matter. So you'll notice I've got the same shape that we've been extruding across before, and then a trapezoid in 3 different orientations. So let's have a look. I'm going to sweep this one around this one. Look at that. It becomes this kind of flat thing. I'm going to sweep this one around this one, and it becomes flat in a different orientation. and not really the one that I thought it would be, if I'm being honest. And wow, let's do that one. Sweep path, and this goes the other direction. So it does matter what orientation that you are in before you apply it. Cool? Okay, great. The other thing that AutoCAD can do with the sweep command is twist. So if you want to rotate around an axis, this is how you would do that. So in case you're wondering where I got this shape from and what the heck we're making, this is from the packet of inventor practice parts that someone created ages ago, and that I use as a way to practice my AutoCAD skills, because it has a bunch of different things in it that I don't necessarily do all the time. I've already created this shape here, this one right there. So you can see that that is the same as this shape. And now I'm going to use sweep to extrude it in a twist. Oh, let me show you the math of how you figure out this, how much it should twist. So the twist command is going to ask me how far I want it to rotate in degrees. So there's 360 degrees in a full rotation. So now I need to figure out how many full rotations this does over the course of the total height of the twist. So to figure that out, I've been given this pitch dimension. So pitch is the distance from 0 to 360 vertically, because this is basically this is a helix, because it's a line that's rotated around a center point that's expanded over a distance. So this point right here would be 0 degrees of rotation. This point right here is 360 degrees of rotation. So that tells me, and it's 25 units tall, so that tells me that I can figure out, or this gives me the information that I need to figure out how many twists there are per total rotation, or per total height. So if I do 60 divided by 25, that will give me 2.4. And then that just tells me, then I can multiply that number by 360 degrees, because that's how many degrees are in a full rotation, to get the number of full rotations, or the number of degrees in the full rotation of that thing for that height. So 2.4 times 360 is 864, which is what I will type in when I go to do this twist command. I'll do this a couple of times so we can see it a couple of times. So I'm going to select the object that I want to sweep, hit enter, and down here I can see that I have twist. I don't actually know what bank and expression means, but by default it's asking me for twist angle, so that's how many degrees of rotation that I want in the twist. And I'm going to type 864. And then what's the path? And I'm going to say this one. And it's going to extrude that into, it's extruded along the path, but with a sweep. So if we were to place this next to our sample, we can see that those look pretty much the same. Lovely. Show you that again. Select the thing. Actually, let me move this over so I can show you something. So this it shouldn't matter where this is relative to this, to the path. This might make me a liar in a second, but I'm gonna start the sweep command, start the twist command, 864. Oh, I missed. Sweep command, select, twist, 864, spacebar to accept, and it does the exact same thing. So you can see that it doesn't actually have to be right on top of it in order for it to twist. Great. If I were to move the base point, however, that would make things a little bit sad. By default, the base point is the the geometric center. So if I were to say sweep it, this is going to look so weird, by the way, if it does what I think it will. I'm going to move my base point to say, oh, let's go right there. There. And I still say twist, 864, hit enter, path. Now we have this bonkers thing because it's no longer twisting around the, it's no longer twisting around a straight axis, it's twisting around, well, it is twisting around a straight axis, but it's twisting the rest of the shape as well. Like it's not consistent. So that's why it looks so, well, cool, honestly, but also crazy town. So there is that. If you have any questions about sweep, please do let me know and I will try to answer them for you. In the meantime, have a good one.